This video is going to be something a little bit different than I've ever done, actually, and that's about curriculum. And the reason I'm going to make this video is because I think things that I do when I'm teaching, I'm trying to do for the best interest of the student from my point of view. But a lot of times when you're in person training with somebody, it's not in their best interest to tell them what's going on, right? But because we're at a distance, and because maybe we have people that haven't ever had to suffer through a Chinese martial arts curriculum, I thought maybe I'd give you a little bit of info about it, about particularly how I see things, I guess. I see each one of the aspects of a martial art, okay, as a single thread, if you will. And however strong or thin that thread is up to you. So for instance, when I'm teaching the Shaolin 18 Lohan Pong, the form, the being able to do the physical movements all in a row, is one of those threads. Having good corrections in the body posture would be another thread. How you breathe is another thread. How you step is another thread. But it also goes past that. It goes into how does this martial art, or this Qigong or breathing art, yogic art, if you will, how does it think? How was it thought of when it was developed? What did the creators of this have as a way of looking at the world? Because for us to learn something that it appears incredibly foreign at first, realistically, just copying the movements, it's just one of those threads. So you have to understand a little bit more about cultural context, and that actually goes into Chinese medicine, right? Because now you're looking at, well, these health aspects are looked at from this particular lens. Anyway, when you're doing all of these things, if you're going to try to be good at one of the arts, you have to bind all those threads into a rope. Because as you know, a rope, once it's spiraled together, is incredibly, incredibly strong. So when we're practicing, we have to keep in mind that each one of those strands matters, right? Every one of those strands that's missing or just plain weak is weakening our rope at the end. And that's really bad. So you have to take a look at what each one of the strands are that I'm trying to present. So in the Lohan course, and that's the most you'll ever see probably online of what I normally do, is I'll actually teach a few lessons of physical movement. And then I'll maybe do a couple corrections about physical movement just to empower the student a little bit, that they know what they're doing and they're feeling good about it. They're moving on, right? They're succeeding. Then I might give some breathing instruction, perhaps, kind of like I have so far. And that's, again, another level. And usually one of the levels in an internal art that the student really wants to know, because breathing, they know something is linked to breathing, right? This whole weird internal mystical chi thing linked to breathing somehow, right? So now they feel like they're getting trained properly. They're getting a bit of depth of knowledge, and it's good. If you just leave it at that, you end up with excellent mimicry, basically, of teachers. People that move like their teachers, they can say the same words their teachers say, but they don't necessarily have their own set of words for what it is they do. So how does one get past that? Well, when I teach, I'm always trying to throw different strands out. So one day I may teach about Chinese medicine. I'm just a little bit of stuff. Somebody might get injured and I'll, reset a sprained or broken finger and teach everybody who's there how to do it. Why wouldn't I? Now all of those people there are attaining that little bit of knowledge. If there's people around when I make dijiajiao, when I make the fall hit wine, the Chinese medicinal liniment, well, they get to learn that too. And that is where it all kind of boils down. When I'm teaching, I'm actually not shotgunning things just out as I kind of come up with them. I'm trying to look at it as a holistic education to spin that rope out of later. So if we don't have enough foundations in, say, the Chinese way of thought, Qigong, and we don't demystify it for the way we think as Westerners, we've got a problem, right? We end up with a cognitive dissonance. And if we don't consider, say, the martial art aspect of the fact that Shaolin 18 Lohan Pong, a Buddhist art, was what probably helped spawn some of the Chinese martial arts, devastating things. So we have to kind of look at that, because you can't have yin without yang, right? Everything has to remain in a balance, except that it's not a balance of two when it comes to learning a full expression of the art. It's like a rope. There might be 1,000 threads in it, and each one counts. It's how much you want to go into it. I mean, I'm going close for 40 years. I've been training, and there's still more. I never run out of stuff to realize that I'm weak here, I'm weak there, I don't understand this. The more you know, you don't know. But that's another topic. So I just wanted to put it out there that the idea is that there are common threads. There's physical movement, there's breath, there's seated exercise, there's standing exercise, and I'm going to rotate through all of them so that you get a most holistic approach. There's a lot more to training martial arts or qigong or anything else than just the postures.